Hello, Solis from AQR again, with this tutorial. And this is just a real quick tutorial on comparing linear and exponential functions. And we're going to get something called add rules and add subtract rules. And as you can see right here, we have a situation where this Cohen is selling magazine subscriptions. It's just the same guy from the couple of worksheets ago. He is paid $20 to start selling and then earns $1.50 for each subscription he's filled. So right here we have our domain range right here. And remember, our domain is going to be the variable that we can that just happens. So this is the independent variable because of everything. So this is our domain. And then of course this one has to be our range because it all depends on what the domain is. So if we start and we don't sell anything, we got $20, and if we sell one magazine subscription, we got $21.50, and so on and so forth. What I really want to get into this right here is the add rules. These are add rules. Now basically it says as we add to our domain, what happens to our range? So if we add 1 unit, in other words, right here, we have a change between 0 and 1 over here on the end. If we look at this, 0 and 1, the difference between is we added 1. And then for the next one, we add 1. We add another 1, then add another 1, and so on and so forth. And each time right here, we're adding an extra $1.50, and then of course we're adding an extra $1.50, and then another $1.50, and so on and so forth as we go along. So adding 1 unit to the domain leads to adding 1.50 to the range. Incidentally, if we go ahead and change this a little bit, if we add 2 to the domain, in other words, we're going ahead and changing from 0 down to 2, each time, what happens to our range? Well, as we adding 2 to the range, to the domain, our range changes by 3. We're adding 3 units. So 3 units. And that's the add rule. So over here, if we went on to like 3, we would be adding, let me see, as we add 4 units to the domain leads to adding 450 to the units to the range. So that's we go and so forth. Now we have this right here, and just take 1 second here. I'm going to fill in this table. Okay, and right here we have a new rule. I filled in this table, as basically his previous earnings increased by by 1.5, like by just multiplied by 1.5. And as we add 1 to this particular thing, we are multiplying by 1.5. So as we add, we multiply by 1.5. Same thing right here for the next one. We add, we multiply by 1.5. And it just goes on for every single one of these. As we add 1, multiply 1.5, multiply by 1.5. Now, it changes a little bit if we go ahead and do it with the next one. If we go, so that's for an add 1. So we're adding 1, we're multiplying by 1.5. What happens if we're going to add and doing the next one? If we're doing this next one right here. Say, for instance, we add 2. So let's do the add rule, the add multiplication rule for 2. So we add 2. What do we do to this? Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. I'm going to have to fix that. Just bringing back some of the data so that way I can see this. I don't want to rewrite all my data. So let's see, what is this add rule? So we add 2. We have to look at the difference right here. Well, how much does it change? Well, if I take 45 divided by 20, that gives me 2.25. Well, where do we get 2.25? Well, let's try this. 1.5 times 1.5. Hey, that's 2.25. So we're multiplying by 2.25. So, or 1.5 to the second power. Wow. So this is the add multiply rule. As we go ahead and go from 2 to 2, we're actually multiplying by 1.5 to the second power. And same thing for the next one. Multiply by 1.5 to the second power, and it has something to do with that. If we go to the add rule, the add multiplication rule of 3, we can go ahead and see what happens as we add 3. So the add multiply rule for 2 would be as we add 2, we're multiplying by 1.5 to the second power. Let's see if it holds for the next one. Let's see if this is actually 1.5 to the third power. So let's see. To find that out, we just take 67.50 divided by 0. And that's 3.375. So we get 3.375. Well, let's check this right here real quick. 1.5 to the third power, 3.375. So because of this is equivalent to 1.5 to the third power. So if we're doing the add multiply rule, this is adding 3 multiplying by 1.5 to the third power. And that's what we got right here. And so this is where we get our rules. And we can get all these right here. Now these are some of the add rules. And I really shouldn't be showing you this right now, but we'll take a look at this later. Alright, so right now I want you guys to just think about these add multiply rules. What happens if I did it with 4? What would happen? And so on and so forth. So I'll talk to you in class. See ya.